there was a disciple and of Master, and she woke up and she was in the hospital. She was in the operating room. She had just come back from a life-challenging operation, and the doctor had just told her that her cancer was inoperable and that they couldn't do anything for her except to give her a colostomy and to sew her back up. And she was in great pain because the anesthetic had worn off and it wasn't time yet to get pain medication. And she just felt trapped. She had tubes down her throat and nose, and she had needles in her veins, tubes going to these machines, and she was just in a dark abyss. She just was at the lowest point she'd ever been at. And she thought, well, what am I going to do here? And she knew that at that moment she could have let go. She could have passed. But she said, I'm not so afraid of death, but I don't want to pass feeling so abysmal and in despair. I don't want to be in this consciousness when I pass from this body. So she, with all her heart and mind and strength, she prayed to Master. She said, Master, help me. And she said it was instantaneous. Suddenly she was filled with divine light. She was filled with joy. She was filled with bliss. And she was filled with a love that she knew that every single soul felt from God, or could feel and had from God, that He loved us all with unconditional love. It was overwhelming. And then she prayed, and she said, Master, I've always wanted to accept everything that you've given me. And I want to live. I want to keep meditating and helping people. But if it's your will that I pass on to higher realms, then I accept that. And she felt like that was a pivotal point, because she felt this divine love, but she wasn't yet out of that pain and misery. And then she felt at that moment Master say, I will be with you. I am here and will go with you, go through this with you. And I will give you a divine key. And he said that key is gratitude. Isn't that interesting? He said those words that he said, I am here. And this was the reading that I read, I am here. So we know that God is always here with us when we need Him. And that's what he said. He said, I am here when you need me, when your greatest need comes. He said, the key I'm going to give you is gratitude. For every pill that you take, for every tube that comes out of you, for every needle that goes in you, for the doctors, for the nurses, feel gratitude. And do this unerringly and constantly. And so it wasn't like she climbed out immediately, but she kept applying this. She kept being grateful. And every day got a little bit better. She was in intensive care for about 6 days, and then she was given a lovely private room. And there was such an amazing difference in her, and the love never left her. And the doctors and nurses started coming in just to be with her. And people started asking her to pray for them. And they would come in, and many people said that they were changed just by being around her. One doctor said the hospital would never be the same. And so that divine bliss, it was there, but she had to call on it. And she said after she got out of the hospital and she was walking on the ocean with her family, and there out in the bay was a Red Cross ship, and right across its bow was the name of the ship, Gratitude. She said she thought that was a nice little sign.